today I'm going to be talking about another issue that people have about Japanese. Not really an issue, but something that they find hard, and that is kanji. And I think for many people kanji is quite daunting, like the prospect of actually having to learn it, because there are like 2,000 kanji out there that you kind of do need to know eventually if you're taking it at university level, I mean. And obviously I don't know 2,000 kanji, I don't know anyone who does apart from my teacher, but it's important to still learn as many kanji as you can. I'm now in A level, it's really good, but the problem with it is obviously there's a lot more kanji to learn when compared to GCSE. And GCSE, to be honest, you only really needed to recognise kanji to get the AA star, and luckily that went okay. And luckily I was able to get a good grade without swamping myself with kanji, even though I didn't know quite a lot of the kanji in the syllabus. In A level that is not the case. You could not pass without knowing a decent amount of kanji. I've only been doing it for two months-ish now, and I'm already realising how much kanji I need to know. Currently at this stage I've learned over 100 kanji in over a month or something like that, because we started and then we got to the kanji. And to learn 100 kanji in a month is a little intense, to be fair. Some of the words we learn don't just consist of one kanji, they can consist of about 4, 3 or something like that. So, you know, there's no real way of getting around that. And basically the way I've learned to adapt, and it took me a few weeks to be able to get into the pattern of learning. And it's worked for me because I've gotten 100% consecutively, but hopefully this also translates to what you what you're finding difficult about kanji, and hopefully you can get the test score you want, or whatever you want. You want to be able to memorise the kanji and be able to say the kanji. And I think the method I do just helped me anyway. It may not help you, there's different methods. How I learn my kanji is first recognition. I think recognition is so important. It's also the main use of the kanji, because you're more often, if you go to Japan or whatever, going to be reading the kanji. You won't necessarily be writing it. So you first need to know, if you're looking at the kanji, what's that in English? Look at the root, that must be a verb then, or suru, bu. Also, you can tell if it's an adjective. Okay, so it's got an e or a na at the end, so that must be an adjective, right? And then you have to think about what you've learned, and that's how I get to it anyway. After that, I just keep looking up, just going for about 10 at a time, just keep shuffling my cards, my revision cards, until I've fully memorised kanji. And not being able to write it at this stage, just being able to recognise it. That's asobu. That's a weird example. Asobu. So after that, I tend to go to the second stage of my revision kind of thing, is when I'm starting to actually write it. And it's kind of funny how I do this. I kind of make stories with the kanji. So I can't think of a good example now. There's 2 ways I kind of do it. For instance, when I have to learn the phonetics, I kind of, sometimes if they sound a bit like the word, I try and relate it as much as I can as possible. A bridge, to cross a bridge. I think of, well, it's wataru. So I think of water, because wataru, don't judge me, but yeah, that's how I do it. And then I think, when I hear the phonetics, or if I read the phonetics without knowing the kanji, I'm thinking, wataru, oh, like water the bridge, like under the bridge. And then I'm able to gather what the kanji is. And it's just making stories, like when you're writing it, try and pretend the stroke is a person, and it's hard to explain, but you know what I mean? Just try and animate the kanji, if that makes sense. There's a better word. You have to personify the kanji, I think. Personify. I think that's the word. I'm not sure. Next after that is a test, and yeah, like as if I'm doing it in class, I'll write it out and have them memorise all the kanji, put the phonetics on top of the kanji and suru, whatever comes afterwards. And then after that, I mark it really harsh, like even if I've done the stroke the wrong way round, I will give it a big cross and circle where I've gone wrong. And then I know the areas where I'm lacking. You know, 4 times out of 10 it does work, but sometimes you just need to I would just say revisit all your kanji. Even though you got like 100%, 2 times on that kanji, I still go back to it because you never know. Sometimes you do just forget the odd stroke. For example, in a test, I put 1 extra stroke in. Luckily, because it was only worth half a mark, but my mistake to half a mark, I was able to still get the 100% average. But you know, that's close. But that was because I didn't pay attention to the kanji that I've already learned. And I've heard from, I think it was my first Japanese teacher I had, we have to memorise something 23 times to actually remember it for life. And that is so true, like for hiragana, and katakana I should say as well. When I learned that, you know, I learned it so many times, I probably like, for a year consecutively, I would just read, and it actually kind of worked. So now I'll be able to always read and write hiragana, same katakana. But yeah, so you have to keep at it. And that's really it. I hope this video kind of helped. It's just a short video. I haven't made a Japanese related video in a while, to be honest. But I hope this helps, and I'm hoping to make some more Japanese related videos. But yeah, as next time. Bye!